again, this is our Thursday morning mastermind call. When you come on or Thursday morning call, we got a lot of calls. When you come on the line, just tell us your name and where you're calling from, because it looks like we're right at the top of the hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I know as folks come on and the people that are already on, we want to, again, remind you that we love when you interact and when you say what's going on in your business, what's working in your business, what are you trying new in your business. Because, see, that's one thing that I really believe, that you keep that brain active by learning something new. See, when you learn something new, you're firing and you're wiring different brain cells. You know, things are happening in your brain. It's just not stagnant. I found a note the other day of this book I'm going to get. And I was looking for the author's name because I saw him on a talk show. And he talked about how your brain, consider it like streets. And certain streets you go down all the time. So that means the things that you know you're always doing. The way you drive a car, you always drive the car the same way. The way you cook, there's certain meals that you always cook the same way. Just doing things in a routine manner, you keep those streets, if you like, occupied, moving. Nothing can grow on those streets because you're constantly moving. But think about the things that you're not doing, different streets you're not traveling on. Well, you know, weeds are growing up. If you think about it, if you go to a neighborhood, you could tell who's grooming their yard and who's not. And that because things are growing up, things are looking in a disarray. And that's what happens in your mind when you're only using certain things, when you're not activating different muscles or firing and wiring. So you want to always be learning something new. I'm telling you that keeps your brain active. Even if you play games, do different things to learn something new every day. Even I remember somebody was saying, well, I learn a new word every day. And you know, those different calendars. Matter of fact, Rick has a friend who had a business, I don't know if it's still going on, where they do calendars and they put either different sayings on each day, or they put different words on each day, and they give you the meaning of that word. And then all day long, you use that word in a sentence. And that's how you're learning a new word every day. So it's really, there's so many different ways to learn different things out there and to keep your mind active. And so you want to always do that. I know I have certain people that I listen to, Abraham Hicks, and she popped up on my news feed again because I follow her on YouTube. And so I subscribe to her YouTube channel. So anytime she puts something new out, or they just slice together a new saying or whatever, it pops up as new, and I listen to it. And so the other day, she did this 17 seconds training. And what it was, and I thought about Mel Robbins with her 5-second rule also, but because Mel Robbins, real quick, what she says is 5, 4, 2, 3, 1, do it. And so if it's getting out of bed, if it's making a phone call, whatever it does, don't allow more than 5 seconds to go past, because you literally will start talking yourself out of it. And so she was in bed for a long time, didn't want to get up, didn't want to do anything. And that's how she started off and wrote a book all about it. But what Abraham Hicks is saying with her 17 seconds, when you first wake up in the morning and you're in this beta state, you're just getting out of your REM sleep, that you have 17 seconds to pretty much design your day. So it's a learned thing. It takes practice. But what you wake up in the morning and you start thinking about, you be about, and you'll attract. So as soon as you wake up in the morning, when you become aware that you're waking up, you want to take the 17 seconds to think of something positive, how you want your day to go. Think of something happy to make you feel good. And she said, then you're going to put that out as an energy, and you'll get more and more of that. So I thought it was really interesting because I started doing it when I first heard her. And of course, you forget, you wake up, life goes on, da, da. So it was good to hear it again. And now I started, consciously, when I become aware, to remember to pretty much design my day. And so it's all about remembering and learning something new and doing something new and keeping your brain active and knowing that self-development is a major key to you being successful in our Surge 365 business. So I really like those types of things. And I know the mind is a powerful tool. And when we start figuring out how we work this brain, how we refire it, how we get rid of those negative thoughts that keep us down, because it's so easy to fall back in what you're familiar with, your routine. I was thinking about Lou. I don't know if he's on the call because I hadn't heard him announce, but Lou always is the first person to announce. Lou from California, right? He's always the first person to announce. And for the last few times, I haven't heard him. I know he's been on the call, but I don't know if he's jumped on late or whatever the case. But I haven't heard him first. And I started thinking, I thought, wow, it's a trip how easy a routine can be established in your mind. And so I'm thinking, where's Lou? I don't hear him. Lou's really the one that makes me know that I could be heard, that let me know that I can hear everybody else. And so it's interesting how those little things become a routine. And I was actually using his hello, Lou from California, as a way for me to know, okay, I'm heard and I can hear people. And so when he stopped, it was almost like, wait, what's going on? Where's Lou? So it's interesting how the smallest things can become a routine. And you don't even realize it's a routine until it's gone. So you want to make sure that your routines, they're positive routines. To me, that was a positive routine. And you want to, because routines like James Clear with Atomic Habits, that's an excellent book. Read it over and over again, because it really tells you how you change a habit. And you want to change a habit with a positive. So if you have a negative habit, you want to change a negative habit with a positive habit. So some of you might be too young to remember Columbo. So Columbo was this detective years and years ago. And what Columbo was trying to do was he was trying to stop smoking. So what he did was he would always have a lollipop in his mouth. So that was like his little tag signature. And he would hold a lollipop on the side of his mouth like it was a cigarette, blah, blah, blah. But that's what he did to stop smoking. So he replaced the cigarette in his mouth, with a lollipop in his mouth. So it is interesting how you can program your brain to do whatever you want your brain to do. And it's sad because as we grow up, our parents didn't know because they were doing what they were taught. And so a small little negative things creeps up as we begin and our brains are developing, and especially the answer no. When you're a little kid, you're wanting to touch something, and what does someone say right away is, no, don't touch that, or it's hot, don't touch that. So no is all you hear growing up, and it's really just to prevent you from hurting yourself. So I'm going to experiment on my grandkids. And so instead of saying no, I'll say something like, that's hot. If you touch it, you'll burn yourself, and seeing how that works. But, we'll see, because they're not my kids. They're not with them 24/7. But it's interesting to know these things now as you're older and as you're learning. And again, learning something new and realizing that you can refire your brain to do whatever you want it to do. You just have to be aware. You have to be determined to make it happen. So if things are not going the way you want it to go, then change it. You don't have to be where you are. Change it. Start feeling the lifestyle that you want. Some of you might remember that show, The Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous, that used to come on years ago. And I would watch that show. and just imagine the beautiful homes and the beautiful cars and the yachts but the one missing thing was the feeling on how it would be to actually live that lifestyle. So now I have learned to throw the feeling in there also. So yes, you can look at it, you can say your affirmations, but you have to take it that one next step. How is that going to feel when these things start happening?
Champagne
Somebody
dreams.
wanted to share?
Yeah, champagne
I know.
dreams and caviar wishes, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. So it's there for you to have. All you have to do is feel it and know that it's yours for the taking. Like they would say, Glenn, your life is a blank canvas. Go ahead and write on it whatever you want. So there's so many different things that we learn as we grow. And one thing I want to share before I open up the line is Rick reposted James Pruitt's his little 25-minute that he did on training. And I always would say, I am so happy and grateful that. So when he was sharing that part, I went, oh, I'm good. I am so happy and grateful. I say that, yay. Well, one thing he did was and accepted at ease at the end of that statement. And so I added that too. So that was my one learning something new. And so when you hear things like that, write it down, incorporate it in your regimen, incorporate it in your affirmations and what you do. And because you never know if that one little word, I accept it with ease, that could change everything. You don't know. So do it. It's not like it's a bad thing. It's a good thing. So when you say, I am so happy and grateful that people sign up in my business on a daily basis, and I accept it with ease, that's easy. All you're doing is, well, I didn't have to add the beginning because I always said I am happy and grateful. But now with ease, oh man, I'm going to do that. So, and it takes no more from me. If anything, it adds to me. And what you want to do is when you hear things like that, like Bob Proctor, he's a motivational speaker. He was in The Secret, and I started following him. He says that I am happy. I am so happy and grateful that money comes to me on a continuous basis through multiple sources and increasing quantity. So I say that I learned that from Bob Proctor. So that's why I've been saying that for so many years. But and I accept it at ease. Oh man, that's so simple to put that in there. So I'm excited about all the new things that are happening, the way the company is growing, the way the people are beginning to start coming on board. And I love our go parties now because a lot of people are still on lockdown. A lot of people still are not at ease with coming out and doing meetings. You might get somebody to do like a one-on-one outside of Starbucks or something like that. But right now, you can move with the Zoom. You can move with the Zoom. Everybody has been educated now. And if you remember, when we did Zoom presentations before this started, before 2020, folks would leave their camera on, folks would leave their mics on. We'd hear their dogs barking in the background. We hear all this stuff. And now folks are educated. They know not to turn that camera on, and they know not to turn that mic on. And they can still watch and enjoy the Zoom right in the comfort of their own home. So, and evidence of it is when we do our go party now. And Bond, he doesn't bring everybody over, but he brings enough people over so we could participate and ask questions about what would you do with $1,000. Then Rick at the end, and he talks about how much time it's going to take, how much money is it going to take for you, and just get started. So it's amazing how people learn. They learn. So now we don't have to worry about, oh no, turn your camera off. Don't go to the bathroom with your camera on, or something like that. So we can see it all, we can hear it all. And now people are educated. They know how to turn that camera off and that mic off. And it just makes for a great Zoom presentation. And definitely join us tonight. It's going to be fun, our Go Party. Oh, and try to click on earlier than the top of the hour when we start, because Vaughn likes to play music. And so, 5 minutes before the presentation is starting, that's when we're partying, so that's when we're listening to music and we're dancing. And so that's what makes it a party. And because of all the rights, different laws on music, we can't really have it in the presentation, and we definitely can't go live because then they'll take it away, cut it out, so whatever. So by the top of the hour, the music has stopped. So, but the party is still going on. So, okay, this is our Thursday call. I'm so happy that everybody has joined us. So I'm going to open up the floor because I want to hear from everybody else on what's going on, what are you learning new. So the floor is open.
Hey, Brenda, it's Edward from Tacoma.
Yes.
How's everybody doing this
Hey.
morning? Hi, Rick.
Oh, already.
I just wanted to go back to what you were talking about the mindset. And I just thought about, being in the automotive industry as a mechanic. Cars come with computers, and some of them are read only. And I know there's some technical people on the phone, so they know what I'm talking about. There's read only memory computers, which you program into them. They have only one responsibility, and that's all they can do. And then there's programmable read only memory, which is you can upgrade it, you could change the parameters, you can expand it. And I thought that's a mindset. That's such a comparison for the subconscious and conscious mindset, where the conscious mindset is a programmable.
A read only.
Read only, and then the subconscious
Nice.
is the programmable. So you program the subconscious, in the time and space where you have the quietness and the focus to do your affirmations and to really build yourself up. And that's what you do in that time. And then, so when you're in life and you're just going and going and going, you just off and running. Like you said, Brendan, you only have a space and time to really set your day up. So use that space and time to upload what your subconscious has been downloaded overnight. And now you just read only, and now you just going and going and going, and you're getting the results that you dream about.
That was good, Ed. I like that analogy because I know nothing about cars. So thank you, because that was new for me. I mean, the most I know about a car is how to put the key in. Now, I know how to put gas in too. Oh yeah, my father taught me how to change a tire. But that was real good. I love that analogy on the subconscious mind and being aware. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else?
Hey everyone, I'm
Hello.
looking forward.
Okay.
Hi, it's Morgan. I'm looking forward to going to learn more about digital door knocks. It's a meeting that's put on by Jamaica Travel, the Jamaica Tourist Board, and also I have been working on my website to promote my business, and I've learned a lot. I've done some marketing training online and things like that. So it's really exciting. Been busy.
Wow, I like that.
And
nice.
I booked a client.
You booked.
I booked a client last week, so it's working. I'm really happy. They went to
Morgan.
Kauai.
Oh wow, I like that digital door knock. That's pretty cool.
Right? So you can go to the Jamaica Tourist Board and sign up. It's the last 2 weeks of April.
Nice. That's a nice little terminology, as opposed to knocking on somebody's door. Do a digital door knock. I like that. Thank you for sharing. All righty, I love it. Anybody else?
Hey,
I thought I heard somebody. Hey, Jackie.
Hey, hello everyone. Just wanted to say, the go parties are fun. They're quick. I'm really enjoying them. So I put out some invites, and hopefully my guests will arrive and enjoy themselves as well. And the travel, and I don't know who the other was it Morgan? yes, they are having so many like information sessions with the many vendors, carnival, spoil agent. I mean, they are like, wow, they are ready for us to bring the world to them. So it is an exciting time in our business because as travel is coming, we'll continue to come back. Next year, it's going to be like off the chart. But so this is a good time to position yourself for that aspect of the business, and as well as on the SBA side to help people to build it in as an income stream. So just working it through. I'm excited. These are good times.
Good times. Thank you so much, Jackie. You know, that is so true. And a lot of people are going stateside. My sister-in-law texted me the other day because she was trying to get a place on Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. Well, Myrtle Beach, Charleston. And she was saying how everything's booked up. Everything is booked up. She wants to know what's going on, why I can't get a hotel at Myrtle Beach. And I told her, I said, because people are staying stateside. They still want to travel, but they're staying stateside because of that requirement to have a negative COVID test to come back into the United States. So it's proof positive, man, that travel is booming. People are traveling. I think people stopped traveling maybe for about a month or two in 2020. But I think they slowly started creeping back in there, traveling like they love to travel. But man, RV, road trips, mountains, all these different outdoor activities, people are going crazy with that because they can drive certain places. Folks are doing more, within a couple of hours drive from their home, and they're still moving. Anybody else?
Hey, Brenda. Yeah. You really, I have to highlight this. You just touched on a huge minefield for us in the travel industry, where in this country, travel is America's #1 export. Think about that. Travel and tourism is America's #1 export, which is now centralized. You can't really freely leave the country like you did before. So you have the #1 export of this country in the country, and you got basically the whole spectrum of travelers looking at home travel, stateside travel, resort travel in their areas or vacation homes. That we have a whole menu to give them, and we have a whole audience that's captive. The #1 export of this country is captive, and we have the menu to serve them all. Wow.
Wow is the word.
That is so true. You know what? That is so true. And that's why this is a great opportunity, because the whole industry has been reset when you think about it. Because it was kind of locked down. You had the travel agents, you had all the folks that was all set. And with the pandemic, it's all been reset. And now here we come in with as little overhead as we have to operate our business, and we connect to everybody. And so the playing field is leveled. When in our lifetime has the playing field been leveled as it is right now, where we don't have the overhead like these other folks have to worry about that are going out of business, whether it's a traditional travel agency, whether it's the vendors that can't handle the pandemic. And we are ready to launch where we are right now. And especially with what the company has put together, there's a whole market shift in our favor. And that's why it's like, after this pandemic, we can't come out the same. We have to look at, okay, where do I want to make my mark? That's why I love what you were saying, Morgan, with the digital door knocks and like you're saying, Jackie, and all the different vendors that are offering trainings. The whole industry has been reset and leveled to zero. And, it comes down to, okay, what are we going to do with that? Back to you, Brenda.
That's true. That's true. What are we going to do? We going to go. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'd like to add, Brenda, you were right on it about mobile RVs and campgrounds and stuff like that because I've been sifting through TikTok trying to get up data, and they are beginning to become packed. They are now the kind of number one, let's take the family up and go, and get the friend's RV that they haven't used in 10 years and to
Yeah.
the campgrounds, because now the campgrounds are actually becoming full, and and to provide with social distancing, they're becoming full. So you can't go to a national park without a reservation now for this year.
Wow.
You got to book it ahead of time, and just about everything is requires no cash changing hands, things like that. So you have to re-educate yourself. And honestly, this year's RVer is going to be next year's resort family. Could be next year's resort family, and definitely in the future a cruise family, because they're going to go back and rediscover what it's like to be out together as a family. And there ain't nothing better than to start, 100 miles, 500 miles from your home, because generally within that app, there is some type of national forest or national park that's available on there. And keep in mind, if you want to develop cruise passengers as guests and clients, 2022 and 2023, based on all the data, is all the people that had cruises that have been canceled and have been keeping their deposits on the cruises are going to be very, very busy years in the cruise industry, because they are already booked up to pretty much to capacity as they anticipate getting back to business.
Yeah. That's so true, Lou, because even something as simple as a wedding, all the weddings that were canceled in 2020, all the weddings that were canceled in 2021, because people are still a little cautious and they want to have their big wedding. 2022, man, it's exploding. It's exploding now. People are booking reservations for cruising. Cruise lines are going to come back. They're going to figure out a way to get people on these cruise ships to make them feel comfortable. And then, hopefully this doesn't happen. But we've been hearing a little bit about this here and there on the news, that certain places are going to require a vaccine for you to be vaccinated to get there, to go there. So hopefully they don't try to do that with flying, but they're definitely going to figure out a way for people to keep moving. And Colorado, are you kidding? The outdoor events here, it's packed. We go to Garden of the Gods now, and I know you guys can see from the pictures that we post, Garden of the Gods is packed. And these are with homebodies. These are not even tourists. These are people that actually live here in Colorado Springs. The Royal Gorge, Pikes Peak, man, it's gonna explode. So yeah, Lou, that is so true. Anybody else?
Brenda, as
would like to encourage everyone. Amy. Oh, I'm sorry. Was somebody else speaking?
No, go ahead, Jackie.
Amy Shortfall, which is our BDM, YTB BDM. She has a lot of. They're doing like almost every week, doing training. So, if you haven't joined the Carnival page, and so you can get the updates. I mean, they're having a lot just so you can get the information.
That's a good point, Jackie. It's not just recruiting. Some people say, okay, I don't want to recruit people, but it's actually learning. Like you were saying, Brenda, with all the weddings that have been pushed off. Now, it's not my thing, but on Travel Agent University, you can become a wedding destination specialist, and the training is free. And so if you haven't registered for Travel Agent University, Travel Agent Academy, Disney Travel Agents, Special Needs at Sea, register for these different vendors and the free training. But if you want to be a wedding destination specialist, to be in line with all the folks who have been pushing off weddings, and then you can advertise yourself. If you want to be a special needs specialist, with all the folks who have been locked down that are looking for special needs travel services and in equipment and oxygen and all those things, carve out your niche. You know, what do you want to do? You know, where you want to be? Who are you? And you can create your life. I just brought this bishop on, and that's one of the things I know everybody on this call can agree with this, that somebody's watching us. This bishop has been watching me for years, and he called me out of the blue. And of course, that's one of our affirmations, that people will call us that we don't even know and are not expecting. But he called me out of the blue, and he said, Rick, what's happening in travel now that we're coming out of this pandemic? And he said, what I think I see is all of these people wanting to travel again. And I said, yep, Bishop, you are so right. You got all these people, 7.7 billion people. He said, I want in. He said, I want in. And do you know, we signed him up the very next day. And I know he signed himself up. I sent him the link, and he signed himself up the very next day. And he said, I got a list of 20 people. And I started telling him about the taxes. He says, yeah, home-based business. And you know, we had the tax thing with Dr. Mueller, and Brenda and I had ordered some of the tax books. And I said, yeah, I'll send you one of the tax books. He said, yeah, send me one of the tax books. This bishop is so excited. And he has been watching me for the longest. And, you know, about a year or 2 years ago, I was really trying to get him then. And he was like, oh, well. And so somebody is watching you do those affirmations, keep learning, like you say, Brenda, learning something new. And I'm telling you, people, in fact, I got a call from this guy from Canada who had contacted me trying to get me in some other deal about 2 years ago. He called me yesterday. He said, Rick, what's happening in travel? He said, they're starting to come back, huh? And I'm like, yeah, somebody's watching you, and they waiting for you. And I'm telling you, you do those affirmations, they will contact you. Back to you, Brenda.
That's true. That's true. Affirmation's powerful. Anybody else?
Hey, Rick, just bouncing off of what you were saying. I'm with you too, and it's what we were talking about before everything started trickling back, because right now it's trickling. It's going to be amazing when everything's full on. They already projected that this explosion, the start of this explosion is going to be a 5-year stretch. The start of this explosion. So just being in position with the knowledge that this company gives you access to is priceless. And like we were going through all the training, getting prepared for this time to point everyone in the right direction. We have the SBA training or the junior executive training. We have the travel agent training. We have every tool that you can think of to be a professional in this industry and make the money that these professionals make coming in the door, which is still blowing my mind, because when you come in the door in this industry, you shouldn't be making anything lower than $75,000 a year. I've seen the jobs. I've been offered the job, so I know the amount of income that can be made and sustainable income that could be made in this industry. And it's still blowing my mind that the number one export of this country is our captive audience. I need everybody on this phone to let that sink in. The number one export moneymaker of this country is our captive audience. I'm blown away.
And that's true. And the whole industry has been reset to zero so that we have a chance. You know, we have a chance. And that's all we really wanted, was a chance. And since the pandemic, the whole industry, the number one export, we're all coming back together. And when you think about that, we don't have no building that we got to maintain. We don't have all these people. Our overhead is $99 or $120, or if you want to do the $19.99, you know, that's our overhead. And the whole industry, the cruise industry, airline industry, you know, the vacation, the industry total has been reset to zero. And that we're all coming back together. And here we are, like you're saying, Ed, we don't have that overhead to have to worry about, you know, like the industry does. And we are here at the same time. And now the industry is in desperation. That's why, Morgan, thanks for posting the link about the digital door knocks. The whole industry is crawling at our feet. What do we do with that? Wow. Back to you, Brenda.
That's true. That's true. Anybody else?
Hey, Brenda,
You figure all we have to do. Go ahead.
I was going to say, we have the Go parties. We had, what, 31 people on there on Monday, and it's growing. The numbers are growing, and we've got a formula, I believe, that works. And like you say, Jackie, it's nice, short, and sweet. We give the information. We have participation, from folks with the $1,000 question and the 3 questions at the end. And you want to get your folks on there. I told Bishop about it yesterday. He says, Rick, I've got 20 people that I want to reach out to. And he said, I want to get on there first. He said, I'll be on there tonight, and then I'll start bringing my people on. And it's going to start growing. And so you want to invite your guests and your special guests. I mean, the people that you want to work with. Remember, we're the ones doing the interviewing. Folks better be glad we're even talking to them. I was talking to the guy from Canada yesterday. He says, Rick, and he brought this up and it reminded me. He says, Rick, people are traveling again because it's healthy. He said there's a health aspect to travel. And I was like, yeah, that's true. He's telling me. And back to you, Brenda.
And it's so interesting too, because if you do some statistics and you learn something new, you will find out that there's more pollution in your home than outside. So you have to get outside, breathe some fresh air, than staying in the house all the time. So, you can become really paranoid if you start listening to all the crazy things that they say. And, I wouldn't call it crazy, but all the statistics on this and that, and more accidents happen in the home. And there are so many things that they do to kind of scare you, unnerve you, to where you do want to say, I got to get out. No, I don't want to go to a hotel. I'm going to rent an RV, and I'm going to drive up here, and I'm going to go here. And they had an advertising that Frontier is having people fly from Denver to Durango, Colorado for $19 one way. So there are so many different things going on.
So Brenda,
to get people out and going. Yes.
What's your dream vacation right now?
Oh, well, right now, of course it is to get out the house, but I would like to go, I want to go to Italy. I want to go, out of country, but I'm getting ready to go to Vegas in a couple of weeks, and that should be a pretty nice vacation. We'll be outside. We're renting a car, so we'll be able to go to the Grand Canyon and just do all those different things that we do when we're in Vegas. See a nice show, eat some good food. So that's coming up, and that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to doing right now. So I'm quite sure, I can go off. I can go off and off. But right now, that is one that's coming up, and I'm looking forward to it.
What's nice, like Morgan was talking about, Jamaica is advertising so that folks can come out to Jamaica. And I think, that's like right close to us versus international type travel. And so I'm sure many of those deals are going to be coming up. Cancun wasn't bad either. And I really liked the CDC protocols that they had when we were down there. But that 7-day vacation thing that we have, it can be used in country or out of country. And so I think that would make a really nice road trip, destination, using your 7-day vacation stay and somewhere in the United States and just going and relaxing. Oh, that sounds so good. Back to you.
If I could
Alrighty.
real quick.
Go ahead.
Now's the time to take any of the travel agent university and stuff, another training for the Caribbean islands, because they've been hurt. And if you're going to be a travel agent, you're going to get first offering before they go back to full business, offering back to public. since you're already specialized in the industry, you're going to get the best deals before they go back to offer. So you can go back home and offer their sales packages back to your customers and your clients, and before they completely reopen up again. So because they come on, like Edward was saying, our export dollars fuel their economies for the most part, and with the restrictions that they've been having in place, other than every volcano popping up every so often on one of these islands, they're going to want you back. So they're not going to let you. They're going to say, "Come on in, come on in."
That's so true.
Oh yeah, and the pandemic pricing for traveling is going back up, but there are still some good deals out there. Go ahead, Rick.
No, I was going to say that's so true, Lou. They're going to offer us some really great deal. The world is our oyster, and it really just comes down to what do you define? What do you want? You can actually create who you want to be right now, in the industry. When it all comes back, and see that you don't want to just walk into that, just willy-nilly and kind of, not knowing what you want. You want to kind of think about it and define who are you, what do you want? And based on the tools that we have through Surge, we've got the Vortex, and the bishop was saying, Rick, I want to use that Vortex for fundraising. We've got the membership. He said, I just sent my daughter before the pandemic and her family to Africa. I forget the country in Africa, and paid $9,000. He said, my wife's sister lives in England, and we've got a graduation to go there, and we're going to bring the whole family once we get out of this pandemic. And so I was telling him about the Vortex for fundraising for his congregation. I was telling him about the membership for this travel that he wants to do to England, and how he could have saved money on that $9,000. And then I mentioned to him the travel agency. He said, that's what I want. And I asked him, well, why do you want the travel agency piece? Why do you want to know more about that? He said, because I want to learn what this industry is all about. And he's probably maybe 75 years old. And so I took him in the back office and clicked on the career path for the travel agent. And he looked at that back office for the referring travel agent. And he just said, are you kidding me? I said, no, they really do a great job of taking a new person one step at a time, to become a travel agent and giving you all the information. And so I pointed him to the 6 videos to watch. He says, yeah, I'm going to watch them. And I take the little short foot stomper test. And I said, then we can get you registered for Travel Agent University. He was like, really? Travel Agent Academy, Disney Travel Agents, Special Needs Travel. And at 75 years old, he said, that's what I want. And I was like, wow, there's younger people that don't have that kind of excitement. And people are watching us. And it's going to come down to us kind of knowing and having the confidence that we actually hold the golden goose, the goose that lays the golden egg, especially during this time. And you heard me mention, he's one that came to me and said, travel is getting ready to explode. And I'm like, yep, it is. Back to you, Brenda.
You know what is so interesting when you keep mentioning his age? I was listening to the news the other day or something broadcast. So like I said, I love new stuff. And I was listening and they were talking about influencers. And so when you hear the word influencers, you all think millennial, these young kids on social media, on TikTok going crazy. But no, now there's influencers over 50. And what they're doing is they're tapping into that market over 50. And they talked about people over 50 have more discretionary income than the younger folks because they're all sitting back, they're retired, they're getting ready to travel, they're getting ready to do anything. So set your sights on becoming a travel influencer. They had somebody who talked about fashion and clothes. They had somebody who talked about exercising for 50 and older. They had somebody who was, I can't remember what the last lady was, but they had 3 people and they had no travel influencer. And that all they did was they started their little social media account and they started saying, if you're not 50 or older, scroll through. Keep scrolling through. I only want to talk to people who are 50 and older. So there are so many different ways out there to do what you need to do. And why not be an influencer? You know, why not have one lady had over 1 million followers? So can you imagine if her 1 million followers were booking on her Royal Vortex site? And we're going to be talking about that Saturday. So definitely tune into the Saturday training because we're going to be talking about the Vortex and how to get the Vortex out there. And if you have 50 people, 100 people just booking $10 on your Vortex, you can have a nice little income coming in each month. So you want to definitely tune into that. And then another thing, when you're inviting people to our Go parties, to our training, if you don't remember the address, and I know we have so much going on in our head, always remember to go to GoTeamGet.com. And the way I remember that is I throw my fist up and I'm like, GoTeamGet.com. It sounds like a cheerleading chant, you know, GoTeamGet.com. And when you go there, click on webinar and calls, and the address will pop right up. And you'll see Vaughn and Rick and myself. And it's like freedom something. See, I don't even remember it. But I'll go there, I'll click on it, and it'll take me right to the Zoom presentation. So if you have someone you're inviting, go there and write it down and share that with them. And they can go right there and pop on Zoom. And now Zoom is so friendly that if they don't even have a Zoom account, it shows you how all they have to do is click on that. Zoom will download on their computer. And voila, they're set to go. So always remember GoTeamGet.com. And even for training, if you scroll down past the picture of Vaughn and Rick and myself, then you're going to see when we were doing conversation from home. And that's the address for the training. So we've made everything very user-friendly for you. All you have to do is go there. And even if you forget and you go there during the week, I had somebody in Vaughn's downline call me. Dorothy Mitchell, I really love her. She always have her camera in her hand also. And she texted me and asked me, what was that address? And I just told her, GoTeamGet.com, click on webinar and call. She came back, thank you so much. And so now she knows exactly where to go and get the information that she needs for the different training and Go parties that we're having. So we've made everything. And so when you're talking to somebody and you want to invite them and give them that address and say, hope to see you on there. And then right before the call, 10 minutes before the Zoom party is getting ready to start, text them. Hey, did you get on okay? It's about to start in 10 minutes. You do that memory jogger for folks and have it there again and put the whole address again, because it's something how people, where was that again? I don't remember. I have so much going on. And boom, they have it right there 10 minutes before it starts. So it's all about being persistent, relentless, determined to get your people on the call. And no matter who they are, no matter when you've talked to them before, because everybody's life has changed in this past year. Everybody's life has changed.
True.
And even with Nick talking about 2-point-something millionaires were made in 2020. What were they doing? Oh, they were doing different entrepreneur businesses. They were selling plastics. They had Amazon stock. I mean, so many different things has happened in this past year where everybody's life has changed. And so you definitely want to reach out to folks and let them know that this is something that they could do right in the privacy of their own home. They keep their mic on mute, their camera on mute, they're cooking dinner, they're feeding the kids, and they're still watching the Zoom party. And they can see if the folks that they invited to hear about the business is on the party by clicking on participants, scrolling down, and see if you see your name. I know Chantel had somebody on, and she said to them, hey, how you doing? Welcome, that you're on the call. So it's just that simple. It's just a matter of you doing it. And you'll be surprised how people will love how easy and simple this is to start having a little extra income through our Surge 365 business.
So-
Anybody else?
Yeah, I was going to say, Brenda, you know, imagine branding yourself, like what you were saying, Brenda, as a travel influencer. And
Yeah.
just taking that on, like everybody on this call, there are no, yes, I can, yes, I can't. You're not asking, you don't have to give, nobody has to give you permission for that. You can just start telling people that I am a travel influencer. And on social media.
Claim it.
Yeah, just you're branding yourself. And
Yeah.
you don't need anybody's permission. You know, I'm a travel influencer. Well, what do you do? I'm a travel influencer. I think that's good. 2.3 million new US millionaires in 2020 during the 2.3 million new US millionaires during 2020 during the pandemic. 2.3 million new who are these people? They're the ones who have a mindset to take advantage of crisis, knowing that it means dangerous opportunity. And like you were saying, Ed, this is a 5-year run on the top export travel. So we're going to be, that's why after the 1919 pandemic, the 20s, the roaring 20s, and like you say, Glenn, the roaring 20s happened that next decade. So 2019, you know, pandemic, and the roaring 20s, you know, happening like now for the decade. We are in the right place at the right time. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Back to you, Brenda.
That's true. That's true. And you know, another thing on these different social media feeds, TikTok, Instagram, I follow some people. I really get into the decorating of the home. So that's the ones I follow more than anything else. But half of them don't even show their face. All they're doing, if they're decorating something, they're just filming themselves doing the project, and then they put it on a fast forward because the longest you could have one is like 60 seconds. Just imagine you just take a picture of the CDC talking about travel, and then you talk while you go through a book or while you scroll through your internet. One guy, he calls himself the tech influencer. He talks about the new phones, and the only reason why I know about him is because we got a new phone, so I had to figure out how to work it. And so I found him, and the whole time you never see his face. All you see is the phone and what he's talking about. It's only 60 seconds. And the more you put on there, and from my research, I've learned that you want to put anywhere from 4 to 5 uploads a day. And that's a lot. So you have to really be dedicated to do this. But you want to do 4 to 5, 60 seconds upload on your social media and believe that you are the influencer and watch how it happens. It's just do it. I mean, it's because there's so many people out there. You just like you have 50 and older, a guru on exercising, There's hundreds and thousands of people out there claiming that. Why can't you be one for travel?
That's true, Brenda.
I mean, you know, so yeah.
One of the things that's interesting is, and this is probably us all growing up, and you had started the call with this, how we're told, no, you can't do that. No, don't stop that. You can't do that. No, no, no. And we become adults, and we're waiting for someone to say no, when there's really no one out there to say no, to stop you from fulfilling your dreams. But we're waiting, thinking that we need someone else's permission that is not going to come. And what we really need to do is, and this is where most successful people have the edge, we just do our dream. You know, like Ed, like you're doing. You're just doing your dream. There's nobody that's going to say, stop, don't do that, except ourselves. And when we speak and overcome that internal voice that says, stop, no, you know, that is from our past. That's a ghost from our past. And it's only a ghost. It's a figment of our imagination. And when we can overcome that thing that tells us no, oh, the sky is the limit. Back to you, Brenda.
Yeah, that is so true. And I was reading this little question blog that someone asked. So I'll put it out to everybody and then I'll say what I said. But they asked the question, what would you rather waste, time or money? I'm putting that out there to everybody. What would you rather waste, time or money? And my answer to that was, I'd rather waste money. Because see, I can make more money. I can never get my time back. So you want to always remember how valuable your time is when you're doing things, when you're learning things, when you're doing nothing. Remember how valuable, you can't get your time back. You can make a lot of money. You can always make money. Oh, I lost that. I gave that away, blah, blah, blah. I'll make more. And even with that attitude, more will keep coming because that's what you're putting out there. Anybody else?
Because time is so precious and it goes so fast. Even as we age, it's moving on. It never stops.
That is so true, Adrian.
I was going to also say, while you're speaking on travel, that we don't want to forget about the river cruises, because those are smaller. And with the pandemic going on, people want to be in smaller crowds. And so they're really promoting the river cruises.
That's huge.
And luxury.
That's true.
That's huge.
That's true. That's a great idea. Yeah.
So that's on my dream list. One of my dream lists.
Well, you know, there's a training, Adrian, that you can take. The American Cruise Line. I know Ron, one of my guys, he took that training, and they have like 50%, if not more, off. But I think it's the American Waterways or something like that. And that's a free training for river cruises. And I think it's AMA Waterways or something. But
yes, I have that.
Huh?
Yeah, I say yes, I have seen one. And then there's one American, something kind of historical on the Missouri River and the different rivers also, but that's even smaller.
Wow, that's good stuff. I want to take the Mississippi cruise, and because they have the New Orleans band on there, and it just is the big wheel. What are the water wheels to turn, the paddles that turn? Oh man, wow, that's a huge market.
Like more people
that's just like, yeah, they are. More people are being forced to learn about the state that they're in, the country that they live in, because, traveling outside of country right now has become a little harder than normal. So that's true, Adrienne.
Brenda, you were saying about time and money. What's so beautiful about our company is the ability to multiply our time, where we can sponsor people. And normally you only have 24 hours in a day, but as you build your business, you actually multiply where you have more than 24 hours in a day, because you've multiplied your time through the efforts of others. And what's that quote? I'd rather have the efforts of 1%
effort of 100 people than 100% effort of my own.
When you think about that, how powerful, that is the secret to wealth. That's why if everybody on this call, you can become a teacher, because now you're multiplying your time, and you become that asset. You become the investment, and like you're doing the class, Morgan. When you learn information, you become that asset. That's why become a person of value, learning everything that you can. That's what, if a person can just focus their time right now during this whole coming to the end of the pandemic to become a person of value, you get paid for that. Back to you, Brenda.
So here's an affirmation. I am so happy and grateful that I am the #1 influencer in travel, and I accept it with ease. So there are so many different things that you can say. What do you want? You could have it. Just start saying it, claim it, believe it. You could have it. It's just that simple, but you have to be persistent. Remember, that subconscious mind has been trained to hear the word no. And like Rick just said, the only person that's stopping you is yourself. So you want to move out of your way and just go do it. It's just like that. Just go do it. Claim it.
Brenda,
Why
that's
can't
amazing.
you be the number?
Who right now, think about it. Who has the power to tell you no when the company has given us a green light in any area like Ed was talking about, in the whole 5 years as we, really come out of this thing roaring? There is no one, not your friends, not your family, not your imagination. There is no one that can say no to you. There's no one that you have to ask permission from. The company has given us a green light in a field of plenty of opportunity. And if we can just get that, Brenda, that's why the affirmations are so important, like you're saying. Back to you.
Mm-hmm. It really is. So anybody else?
Yeah, Brenda, real quick, if I can do a little bit of housekeeping
Yeah.
here.
Go
Everybody
ahead.
needs to double check their emails for the latest compliance memo from headquarters. I haven't seen one in 6 months or so because we've been doing it, but things are picking up again now that the company's got its new offerings. And go over the recruiting guidelines, the sponsor changes, and most importantly, the SBA Code of Ethics. Just because these are the things that get us in the corporate in trouble, and they all filter down to us because they hamper the ability to do what we do, especially if you're going to be going on a travel property or into travel webinars and seminars and things like that outside of Surge 365. You got to keep in mind that these are common regardless of in industry practices, regardless of which industry you're in, business industry you're in. You're just not allowed to do that kind of, it's considered unethical. So just go back and refresh yourself.
Right, yeah. And what our company does is they really put out a lot of good ones. And the one that I want everybody to make sure, don't stop with $79. Please make sure you say plus training. That's what separates us from everyone. We're not allowing them to earn the bonus because they bring in 7 people for $79. We're allowing them to earn the bonus because of the training. The training piece is what keeps us up, like Lou was saying, making sure that we do all the standards and blah, blah, blah. It's the training. That's what the attorney said. So don't say you bring in 7 people for $79, you make $500. That's half correct. You want to make sure that you're educated. You bring people in for the junior executive program. And through the training and the education, when they share it again with more people, they will now receive a $500 bonus. So let's make sure we put that in there because we don't want people to try to say negative things about our company with us not knowing how important that training piece is. So you want to always remember that training piece. And that's why I love to do go ahead.
I was gonna say, hey Lou, go over real quick the top ones that for the compliance.
The memo states specifically recruiting guidelines, SBA recruiting. About SBA recruiting team members or selling our travel products while on a travel property, such as resort, hotel, cruise ship, etc. It is important that you do not attempt to recruit or sell the tip or top products, discuss pricing, income opportunities, travel savings, etc. to other guests while you are on the property. Along these same lines, you must not attempt to recruit or sell our travel products in travel agent groups, on social media, at travel trade shows, vendor training events, fam trips, or site inspections. These are non-solicitation events, and selling selling of advertising products and or services by attendees is strictly prohibited. Professionalism and ethical behavior is expected of all as representatives of Surge 365. Recruiting is all about working within our circle of influence. Now, the sponsor changes requires if you're going to leave a team and select a new sponsor, you actually have to be kind of inactive for 24 months.
Wow, 2 years now, huh?
Or all subscriptions for 6 months and obtain written approval from their first upline director. So, yeah. And the code of ethics says, of course, is that as the basic SBA code of ethics states, I will not make discouraging or disparaging claims towards other SBA, Surge 365 SBAs. I will ensure that all Surge 365 dealings, I will refrain from engaging in negative language. I will refrain from making any type of slanderous statements. So groups gather, people talk, and at times you may find yourself in conversation that you never wanted to be part of. Take the high road, be the SBA that steps away and doesn't engage. Even better, let the others know this. This is not how we should conduct ourselves as SBAs and representatives of Surge 365. Imagine the good vibes that will come your way when you display that level of discipline and stand up for what is right. Lead by example.
Nice. I love it.
There you go.
And if you want to find the full list of SBA guidelines, you go to your back office and they'll be under menu, resources, SBA documents. The policies and procedures of how you conduct yourself and what's expected. You know, basically it's the contract you sign, an agreement you do says, I'm going to be an Surge Business Associate, and this is how we're going to conduct ourselves. This is the company's part. This is your responsibility. So it's in your back office. You got to head there.
Nice. Love it, love it, love it. See, it's all about knowing your business and taking the time to just go over that. And that's why I really stress the $79 plus training. And then also, we used to do this when we would cruise and all this stuff. We would just get people's name and address, and I'll get back with you. So then when you get back home, then you could email them or talk to them. And then on social media, ask people if they're interested. Then if they inbox you, then you can now share with them the information because they're asking for it. So it's real easy to do. It's not, yes.
I was going to say, and on the different trainings that the company has, especially like the YTB trainings, you can't put in like the comments. If anybody's interested in an opportunity, you know, that's the professionalism. If it's somebody else's dime, we can't advertise on that. You know, we have to do something different. We just have to participate and get the information. If we're on somebody else's property as a resort, if we're on a cruise ship, somebody else's business, we can't advertise our own. And so, but yeah, I guess that's probably something that's been happening with all the trainings that have been going on. Probably in some of the comment sections, you know, you have somebody who doesn't know trying to recruit, you know, on somebody else's training webinar. But
yeah,
if you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know. And remember, back in the day, I thought it was so funny when we were YTB, somebody literally brought flyers, right? And they were sliding the flyers under the cabin door with the information for people to contact them.
On the cruise ship.
On the cruise ship, this person was doing that. And of course, that's when Kim Sorensen was alive, and that's when we had just started, really. So they were like, you can't do that. And of course, the cruise ship has the information with the person's name and phone number. So somebody handed them the flyer that they were using. So yeah, you figure you wouldn't want somebody to walk into your meeting and try to take people from you, or, you know. So you work hard to create this relationship with this person, you know, the different vendors, and they have these people coming to their training. and you don't want somebody to come around and say, oh, I can get it for you cheaper. You know, so just do unto others. I mean, that holds everywhere. And then like Coach said, if it's not right, don't say it. I mean, if it's not right, don't do it. If it's not something, don't say it. But anyway, just remember to be mindful of the fact that these vendors out here, these different travel agencies, resorts, and they're working hard to get clients to come to them. So the last thing you want to do is go in there and try to steal their clients because you know you have bigger, better, you know, property or whatever that you can send them to. So that's something to just keep in mind. But that was great. Like always, you know, man, we have these great calls. Anybody else want to say anything? Okay, well, we look forward to seeing you guys all tonight on the Go Party. And like I said, if you need the address, the times, and all that, it's on GoTeamGet.com. So you can and click on the webinar and call tab up on top, and then scroll down, and you'll see the address. Vaughn has made his somethingfreedom.com, and Conversation from Home is where you would find for the training that we do on Saturdays. And just get involved, you know, just stay plugged in. And we really make sure for the Go Party and for the training, it's 30 minutes. Because like I said, time, you cannot get it back. So we want you to get so much information in that 30-minute, you know, call, so you could feel free to let other people know it's only 30 minutes, man. Come on, log on. And the same thing for different people that are no longer that are in your business. If they want to come back, and they can come back for $19.95 as an SBA, and then they can bring on $79 plus training and earn the $500 bonus. And they can pay, you know, that $20 a month and just keep working the business. So keep that in mind if you have someone who's dropped out for whatever reason. You know, this past year, $99 was pretty heavy for a lot of people. But let them know, hey, guy, you can come back. Let's get you activated again on $19.95. Let's get you sharing this again, and you can go ahead and make that. And then, of course, for the 6, 3, and free, that only applies since like November 2020. So Rick and I, we have to go back and do 6 again in order to now not have to pay the $99. But you can do it. 6, come on, 7, you bonus. So yeah, everybody can do that, so they're not having to pay that $99. But it's, oh my goodness, I just love talking to our team. Yes.
Hey, Brendan, so just to make sure I understand it, because I have a few SBAs that dropped off, and they can come back in with the new Empower Me program in place, and they can enter that program for $19.95 versus the
yes.
$79.
Yes.
They get the whole enchilada for $19.95. Right. Are you kidding? Okay. I got some calls to do. Just plug them into the company, because just call the company like you did for that other question, because there's a lot of people who are, you know, they're still in your leg or whatever the case may be. Just call the company. They don't remember their password. They don't remember blah, blah, blah. So you do a 3-way with the company. The company will get them started for the $19.95. Now, whether or not they are exposed or they have access to the whole top program for coming in for $19.95, check with the company and find out how that works for them. But I do know they can come in for $19.95, and now they can do the 79 Junior Executive Program, bring in 7 people for the $79 plus training, and they can now qualify for $500. But yeah, you definitely want to let your team know that, because come on, everybody's looking for something. Everybody's looking for their little side hustle. I like to call it a plan B. So everybody's looking for something. And if they came in before, they had a why, and I'm bet you that why hasn't changed.
If anything, it's gotten more powerful within this past year, to where they do need to make that extra cash, and they know the people. $79? Oh yeah, they got that. And 19 minutes and 22 seconds of training? Sure, they have that. And people are willing to come on board and get started. Anybody else? Zoom. Those are old Amway people might remember that song. Oh no, I don't know why that popped in my head, but you know, I love you guys. We are the most trusted travel team, and I look so forward to seeing you guys on the call tonight. I want to see your name. And if I ask you, please unmute yourself and talk real fast. And another thing that's really great is that you don't have to be camera ready. You don't have to put the camera on if you don't want to be seen, but you do want to be able to unmute yourself so you can ask the questions. What happens is it makes it so much more fun when Rick and Vaughn and myself, we're not saying the same thing over and over on what we would do with our $1,000. So if we have some new faces, new names, because you don't have to put your camera on, but definitely be ready to answer the question and be excited, because there's so many new people coming on. I'm telling you, we're going to have hundreds of people on our Zoom presentations, our Go parties, because that's how they're coming in. They're coming in, they're ready, they're wanting it, and it's so easy to expose it to the stay-at-home parents now, and the people who are in a shift, the people who are in between jobs, in between careers. This is a great way for them to say, you know, come on, let's do this. Let's make it work. It's just that simple. So alrighty, you know, guys, we are the most trusted travel team, and I look forward to seeing you all on the call tonight, of course, and the beaches of the world. Everyone have a great rest of your day, and we will be talking soon. Alrighty, bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Alrighty, go team.
Yeah. Go team.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody.